everyone, it's Alyssa and welcome to You Can Learn Math.
Today we're talking about how to multiply fractions. Now, I am not going to be talking about mixed numbers like, say, 5½ times 6⅓. That is for another video. No, this is an introduction, and it's only those fractions like, say, 1/2 times 5/7. All right, so we are going to go through how you do this. I'm going to give you a couple little tips and tricks that will make it easier, and then just show you really quickly what's actually happening when we're multiplying these things together. So first thing we're going to do is, what do we do when we are presented with these multiplication problems like 1/2 times, let's say, 4/5? What do we do? Well, if you know your multiplication tables, then this is going to be a walk in the park for you. It's going to be very straightforward because all that we need to do is take those top numbers and we're going to multiply them, and that becomes our new top number. 1 times 4, or 4. Zoom out, center that a bit. And on our bottom, we have our two bottom numbers. Our technical terms are numerator and denominator. Just so we're all on the same page, I'm going to be calling them also top and bottom, just so we make sure we know which numbers we're talking about. So our bottom numbers are denominators. We have 2 times 5. Well, what's 2 times 5? It's 10. And that's it. I've multiplied those fractions. The one thing you really want to watch out for at the end is my final fraction simplified? I have a whole video on simplifying fractions. Link is down below. So I'm going to assume you have a basic knowledge at this point of simplifying fractions. If you need some extra help or a refresher, please watch that longer video. So I'm going to go pretty quickly through it and just assume you know what I'm talking about. So 4/10, if I want to simplify that, look for the factors. 4 factors, it's 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. I know I didn't write them in order. And on the bottom, in our denominator, factors are 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. So are there any shared factors there? There sure are. 2 is in both of those. So 2 goes into 4 2 times, and it goes into 10 5 times. So my simplified fraction is 2/5, and I've done it. So what is actually happening when we're multiplying these things? Well, you may have seen before when you're doing multiplication of whole numbers, like if I said 2 times 4, you might have had a teacher that drew it out saying, well, we can think of this as 2 blocks 4 times. And depending on your math book, they might have presented this as 4 blocks 2 times. It's the same thing because we can reverse them. 2 times 4 and 4 times 2. So, okay, that's easy to visualize. Okay, 2 4 times or 4 2 times. All right, that's easy to see, but what about fractions? What's happening with these fractions? Well, it's saying, over here we're saying 1/2 of 4/5. Well, if I was to draw a circle poorly and divide it into roughly, kind of, sort of, 5 equal parts. We'll pretend those are equal. And I shaded in 4 of them. So I have 4/5. Each of these is a fifth of that circle. Like 4 pieces of pizza. And if I said, I have 4 pieces of pizza left, you can only have half. How many can you have? Well, half I'm dividing by 2. I'd split it down the middle and be like, oh, I can have this portion. Well, how much is that? That is 2 of those fifths, 2/5. So 1/2 of 4/5 is 2/5. That's what's happening here. It's literally saying, no matter what fractions we are multiplying, like if we are saying 3/7 times 2/5, it's saying if I had, Why do I keep picking fifths? I can't draw fifths. I'm really bad at drawing fifths. Okay, it's saying if I had 2 fifths and I divided those fifths into 7 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there we go. How much is 3 of those pieces? 3/7 of 2 fifths. That's what these fractions are doing. That's what they're asking. But again, the process you're going to do every single time is you're going to multiply the numerators, the numbers on top, and you're going to multiply the denominators, the numbers on the bottom. In this case, 3 times 2 is 6. That's my new numerator. And 7 times 5 is 35. That's my new denominator. And you are always, 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 do not forget this. You are always going to look at that number and see if it can be simplified further. You are going to get points marked off. You could even get the question marked wrong if you do not simplify. So please do not forget to do that. And this rule about multiplying, it does not matter how many fractions we are multiplying. So even if it is a long string, and it can go on forever, it can be as long as you want. The same rule is going to apply. You're just going to do this same exact thing. You are going to multiply all the numbers on the top together. You're going to multiply all the numbers on the bottom, all those denominators together. And then you're going to simplify. So on this one, what do we got? We got 30 on top. Oh, goodness. 48 times 3. What is that? 144? Yes, 144. So 30 over 144. And then I would simplify that. Let's see, that simplifies to 15 over 72. And that's going to simplify further to 5 over 24. There we go. I'm just doing some quick math in my head. Shame on me for not doing these problems ahead of time. All right, so 5 over 24. Now that may take some time if you're not used to simplifying to find the factors of 30 and 144, then finding the factors of 15 and 72 to get to 5 over 24. There is a shortcut. Just wanted to let you know first that the same method will work. You can absolutely do it this way. But there is a way that's a little quicker and I think a little easier. So we're just going to remember 5 over 24. That's the answer that we got. So what you can do, and I'm not going to explain the details as to why this works mathematically. If you would like a video on that, because it's kind of in depth and takes a little explanation, and I think it might be confusing more than helpful to some students. But if you would like a video on that, please comment down below and I'll see about making one of those too. So I'm just going to tell you the rule that you can use in this case. So what you can do is you look on top and bottom, look at all the numbers on the top and all the numbers on the bottom, and you're going to look and see if there are any numbers that if they were together in a fraction by themselves, you could simplify it. And here's what I mean by that. So look over here. Ignore the ones. The ones are not helpful. First one, a 3. Is there any number on the bottom that if I wrote it as a fraction, I could simplify it? Like 3 over 2. Nope, I couldn't simplify that. 3 over 4. Nope, I couldn't simplify that. 3 over 6. Ooh, I could. I could simplify that to 1/2. 3 goes into 3 one time. It goes into 6 2 times, 1/2. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for numbers on top and bottom that have factors so we can factor things out. This is only something we can do if we are multiplying. You cannot, I can't say this enough. You cannot do it if you are adding, subtracting, or dividing. Don't do it. It's going to mess you up. So, all right. So I look, 3. 3 goes into 6. Yes. Factors of 3 in both of them. 3 goes into 3 one time. It goes into 6 2 times. 5. Are there any numbers down here that share a factor with 5? Nope. Move on. 2. Are there any numbers down here that share a factor with 2? Yeah, 2 and 4. I can only pick one because I only have 1 2 up here. So I'm going to say 2 goes into 2 one time, and it goes into 4 2 times. So what do I have left on top? I have 1 times 1 times 5 times 1. 1 times 1 times 5 times 1. And what do I have on the bottom? I have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And on top, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. On the bottom, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. And looky there, we got the same number. Now for me, I think it's a lot easier to look for those factors up here, and then I don't have to simplify as much at the end. Sometimes you don't have to simplify at all. But again, if that is confusing, if you find yourself making mistakes like you cross it out, but then you still multiply by 3, we don't want that to happen. So this method, if your teacher tells you you have to use it, please use it. If it's optional, use whatever works best for you. Again, both ways will get you the same answer, in this case, 5/24. If this was helpful or useful in any way, please like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a great day. See you later. Bye.